Back in university, Chris was known as the easygoing, playful type. He had a lot of friends, but his closest was a girl named Anna. Their friendship was unique, so close that when accommodation became an issue, they chose to be roommates. People gossiped, whispered, and raised brows, but they didn't care. They studied together, ate together, pulled all-nighters before exams, and even fought like siblings. They called each other sweet names: Pumpkin, Sugarcane, My G, names that confused outsiders but felt natural to them. Now here's the twist. To Anna, the bond meant more than friendship, though she kept those feelings buried. She knew Chris wasn't looking at her that way, and the fear of ruining what they had made her silence her heart. Oh boy, this is getting serious already. After graduation, Chris secured a scholarship abroad. Anna cried at the airport but disguised it as tears of joy. They promised to keep in touch, and true to their word, calls and late-night chats continued despite the distance. 2 years later, Anna's feelings had deepened, so much so that sometimes she would daydream about him calling her one day to say, "Anna, you're the one for me." But life had other plans. I don't like where this is going. Let's see what happens next. 3 years after leaving, Chris returned home. Anna was one of the first to welcome him at the airport, running into his arms with excitement, only to see him step aside and introduce Nicole, his girlfriend from abroad. Wait, what? OMG, I didn't see that coming. Her heart sank, but she smiled and pretended to be happy for him. That night, she cried alone in her room, whispering to herself, "It's okay, he's happy, and that's what matters." Still, she refused to let their bond fade. A week later, she packed a small bag and moved into his apartment, just like old times. For her, it was about rekindling memories. For Chris, it was normal. His bestie was back. But Nicole hated it. "Oh no, in love triangle alert. Why is she always here?" Nicole asked one evening. "She's my best friend. Nothing more," Chris replied firmly. Anna pretended not to notice the tension, but she could feel Nicole's eyes burning holes into her whenever she walked past. Anna was the kind of woman who naturally took charge of a home. She would cook, clean, and organize Chris's scattered belongings without being asked. Chris, who had been eating junk food since living abroad, quickly found comfort in her meals again. Nicole, however, was the opposite. She loved luxury, but disliked effort. She would spend hours on her phone scrolling through Instagram or taking selfies while Anna was in the kitchen. Whenever Chris praised Anna's cooking, Nicole's irritation grew. "You're spoiling her," Nicole accused one night. "No, she's just helping." "She's been my friend since forever," Chris defended. The house became a battlefield of silent wars. Nicole picked on little things Anna did: where she placed a plate, how long she stayed in the living room, even the way she laughed with Chris. Finally, Anna had enough. One quiet morning, she folded her clothes and left the apartment. She didn't explain, she just texted Chris, "I think it's time I gave you both space. Take care, Pumpkin." Wow. She actually left. Didn't see that move coming. Chris was hurt but didn't stop her. Maybe it was for the best, he thought. But with Anna gone, the house lost its life. Nicole's laziness became unbearable. She wouldn't cook, wouldn't clean, and argued over trivial things. Chris found himself comparing her to Anna without realizing it. One day, after a heated argument about food, Nicole had ordered expensive takeout again. Chris snapped, "Do you even care about this relationship? You don't lift a finger. You act like being with me is a favor." Nicole rolled her eyes. "Maybe you should go marry your precious best friend since she's so perfect." Yikes, did she really just say that? This is getting messy. The words hit him harder than she intended. That night, she packed her things and left. Alone again, Chris thought about everything. He remembered the nights Anna stayed up with him during exams, the way she made him laugh when he was stressed, the comfort of her cooking, the warmth of her presence. He thought about how natural it always felt to call her Pumpkin or Sugarcane. And for the first time, he admitted to himself he was in love with her, but had he realized too late? My heart is racing here. Let's see. Chris rushed to Anna's apartment the next morning. She opened the door, surprised but guarded. He looked into her eyes, suddenly nervous. Anna, I've been stupid. All this while, the person I needed was right here. You've always been more than a friend. I just didn't see it. But now I do. I love you. Anna froze. For years, she had dreamt of hearing those words, but fate had played a trick. Because standing in her living room was a suitcase and beside it a man holding her hand. Wait, what? No way. OMG, I didn't expect this twist. Chris, meet Tony, she said softly. He asked me out last month, and I said yes. The words shattered him. He forced a smile, congratulated them, and left. Weeks passed. Chris tried to move on, but every woman he met reminded him of Anna. Meanwhile, Anna wrestled with her own heart. Tony was kind and genuine, but her bond with Chris was irreplaceable. She found herself replaying his confession over and over. Finally, one evening, she showed up at his door trembling. Chris, she whispered, I thought I could move on. I thought I could bury what I felt, but I can't. You're not just my best friend, you're my home. Finally, I've been waiting for this moment. This time, there were no doubts, no barriers, no pretending. He pulled her into his arms and both realized they had wasted too many years hiding what was always there. Sometimes love hides in the most familiar places, behind shared jokes, sleepless nights, and unspoken loyalty. And sometimes it takes losing what you have to realize it was love all along. Title, The Friend He Almost Lost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, share, like, and subscribe for more interesting stories. Comment your thoughts and lesson from the story. We learn every day.